Very cheap to get into this card is. I've been picking them up ungraded for about $2 each. And as we've seen the Mike Trout 2012 Prism and other players, there's definitely is some value in this set. I just think Joe Rogan has extremely high potential. You can't tell me you can't sell those for $40 or more. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Powers Sports Memorabilia Show. I am your host, Matt Powers. Thank you again for joining me. Please visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. Also, give me a follow over there on Instagram, at Powers Autographs. Well, today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 cards that I have been picking up lately and why I have been buying them. Now, these are low-end cards, which is what I tend to focus on. So if you are looking for someone to showcase all those flashy, high-end $10,000 cards, I'm not your guy, all right? I feel much more comfortable buying and selling low-end cards, so that's what I tend to focus on. And, I think most people are probably in this boat. The idea of spending thousands of dollars on a card scares a lot of people, I mean, what happens if it drops in value in half? What do you do then? They feel safer buying lower end cards, and they tend to understand those better, and they do have less risk associated with them. We buy these cards ungraded, and then we get them graded, and then we sell them. Okay, that's the plan, obviously. Also, keep in mind, I run a business, so I have to tailor to many different customer tastes and budgets. What I will talk about today aren't necessarily for my collection, but to serve those customers. None of these cards I would consider investments. These are just fun cards to give as gifts or cheap cards to have in one's collection. But never underestimate that usage for cards. Right? Majority of us think people just buy cards as investments or to have in their collection. But there's a huge market out there for gift givers who are looking for cards on a budget. A very, very, very small percentage of the sports card world are high-end collectors, okay? They are very rare. You're better off seeing a Yeti, all right? So they don't exist all that much. Most people are buying low to medium-end cards, all right? But my goal of this video is just to get you thinking about some other cards that you can do this process with. Buy ungraded cheap cards and then get them graded and sell them. I'm not necessarily recommending these 5 cards, all right? But I'm just telling you what I've been buying to hopefully stir up some ideas in your head on cards that you can buy cheap, grade them, and also sell them. And again, always do what's best for you and your collection. All right, number 5 on this list is the Ken Griffey Jr. 1991 Upper Deck card number 555. Over the last 90 days, this card has sold as a PSA 10 anywhere from $57 to $244, so all over the range. The PSA 10 pop on this card is actually oddly pretty low at $220. Why am I buying this card? Well, it's Ken Griffey Jr., all right? Most everything Ken Griffey Jr. sells, and according to Market Mover Sports Card Investor software program, of the cards that they track on him and other baseball players, Griffey was the 6th best-selling player of the last 365 days. Very likable guy. How many of us have pretended to be Griffey at the plate as we were kids, or climbing in the outfield wall trying to rob a home run? I mean, lots of us did that. A very collectible player. Very cheap to get into this card is. I've been picking them up ungraded for about $2 each. And in my experience, about 15% of the ones I have looked at were gradable. Some of the issues I found were just kind of soft bottom right corners. Top right had some surface issues, kind of those white specks that you see there. Occasional centering issues, but the centering was actually pretty good on most of these I looked at. I was very surprised about that. Occasional print stain on a couple of them. But the greenish blue color to the card is what makes it ideal for a CSG green slab. One of the reasons I picked it up. I just think it's going to look really sharp in one of those. Just a reminder, when looking at cards to buy, ask yourself, whose slab will this look good in? Doesn't always work out because of the various team colors, but if you can get one to match up, I think it adds a ton of value. So $2 card buy plus $12 to grade bulk with CSG with no subgrades. Means total cost with shipping back and forth is around $15. With a PSA 10 averaging, let's just say around 125, 150, and a PSA 9, last two sales being at 50 and 59, I think this is an easy card to sell in a CSG, 9.5 for $30 plus ship. I definitely think it's a card that you're not going to lose money on, but you're, not going to be able to retire selling on it. But hey, profit is profit any way you slice it. All right, number 4, Yadier Molina, Red Prism and Optics. Why am I buying these cards? Well, I highly recommend finding Prism baseball cards with a color parallel that matches the uniform. Mike Trout, for example. These cards just look stunning. One thing to keep in mind is Panini is licensed by Major League Baseball Players Association, but not MLB, so they can't use any of the MLB logos. However, this works out really well with the catcher since the gear they are wearing covers up all those logos anyway. And I would agree that most Prism baseball cards suck because of that. But you can occasionally find some nice looking ones of them, and especially with the Optics. Of the red Prisms I've looked at, I was actually very happy with the condition on those. Almost a decade old card, and one or two had some scratches on them on the 2013s that I was looking at. Very shocked to find that. I was absolutely stunned. Pricing very cheap on these. I've been picking up these red Prism and Optics for under $5. A few of them have been numbered to $99 and $299. And of course, the pop reports on these are extremely low because nobody's getting these things graded. I've also been picking up the 2012 base Prism, which is of course the first year of Prism. These ran about $2 ungraded and have a pop of just 5. All right, so nobody's getting those graded either. But they do sell for about $50 to $100 as a PSA 10. And as we've seen the Mike Trout 2012 Prism and other players, there definitely is some value in this set. I haven't seen Molina's 2012 Prism base cards in person yet to report about the condition, but I assume there's probably going to be a couple of surface issues with those. I sent the red Prism and Optics off to CSG Bulk to get those graded at $12 each without subgrades. Not the best choice because of their green slab. It kind of clashes with the red color of the Prism and the Optic parallels. But hey, it's $12 to get a grade, get it graded. I like that. Plus, I'm thinking I can get at least $30 or so each for those if I get a CSG 9.5. And number 3, Joe Rogan, 2011 Topps card number 87. Why am I buying this card? Well, UFC cards, in my opinion, if you pick your spots right, are very undervalued. I just think Joe Rogan has extremely high potential. A very popular podcast. He's at all the fights. Everyone knows who he is. He's got a huge social media following. Pricing was pretty good. I was able to pick these up for about $8 each. Design was very solid. He's in the ring. The image has a green towel in it, which I thought would look very good in a green CSG slab. The back does have a black border, which I thought would be an issue when it came to grading. However, about 30% or so seem to be gradable, so not too bad on those. Being an older card, these probably won't be popping up too much at all, so definitely going to be having some low pops on these. And also remember, not many UFC cards have been made in the past, all right? So there's not going to be very many opportunities to pick up cards similar to this one. Rogan, I think, will just sell very well. Let's say I get a CSG 9 due to that black border in the back. $8 for the card plus $12 the grade. Into the cards at about $20 each. You can't tell me you can't sell those for $40 or more. It's Joe Rogan, one of the most popular figures of UFC. Plus, I just think they're going to look very nice in that green CSG slab. And number 2, Lewis Hamilton 2020 Topps Chrome Refractor number 142. Why am I buying this card? Well, Lewis Hamilton, if you don't know, is an international superstar, huge social media following. Formula One has some very high-end buyers. First year of Formula One Topps Chrome. Refractors are very sought after by collectors. And it's a cheaper alternative to his most popular one from the set, which is card number 1. Refractors I was picking up anywhere from $15 to $50 depending on the condition. I like the fact that this card is from the British Grand Prix, which is of course where Hamilton is from. hometown card. I did run into some issues with this card, though. It was very, very disappointing. The 2020 Topps Chrome Refractors, at least the ones that I have looked at, seem to have a ton of surface issues, kind of like all these Chrome cards have. The Sapphire ones seemed to be okay, but the Refractors were just an absolute mess. Maybe got 2 or 3 graded of all the ones that I ordered, and I don't think any of those will be 10s. If you can check with the seller on the condition, I definitely think these are a good buy. Just make sure you are doing your homework on that surface condition. I use SGC to grade these. I thought the black slab would look pretty sharp with it. Got that tuxedo look. You know, F1 has some high-end customers that they wear tuxedos all the time. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but that's just kind of what I'm going with there. $25 for the card on average, plus about $28 for grading and shipping. So you're probably looking at about $55 or so graded. Assuming I get an SGC 9.5, I definitely think these are sellable at $100. All right, number 1, the Rock 2018 Topps, card number 79. This is just one of the many cards I have been picking up on him lately, and definitely the cheapest. I can definitely recommend this strategy with any of the Rock cards. I think he's going to be very, very popular here in the future. You know, why am I buying this Rock card? Again, huge social media following, very likable. He's always in the media. Not only a popular wrestler, but of course a popular actor as well. His Bumblebee Miami card has just taken off, as we know. Just not many cards of his out there, and very few have been graded. Great pricing on this one. Some of the more expensive, there are definitely some more expensive options in this one, but this card I was able to pick up for about $5 each. I sent these off to CSG for grading, so we'll be into them for about $17 or so. I just think these are an easy sell at $35 to $40, simply because the Rock kind of transcends most, many different genres, and he's popular to so many different people and collectors. And I just think he's going to be in the limelight a lot in the near future here. And again, his social media following is only growing. I think he's got well over a couple 100 million Instagram followers. I mean, just absolutely incredible numbers. Again, very popular guy. Again, hope you guys liked this video and a little insight into my strategy. If you want me to do more videos like this, hey, comment below. Let me know if you like these types of videos. And again, always appreciate you guys watching. Be sure and visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. Also, give me a follow over there on Instagram at Powers Autographs. And I will see you on the next episode.